Hey friend, welcome back to my channel. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt yourself freezing, like frozen up because a narcissist has just said something that's just so outlandish and so crazy you think, oh my God, like who in the heck would ever say something like that? And then afterward you think, why didn't I say this or that? And you have that perfect comeback, but it's too late. You know, I often think about, it's an old show now, but in Seinfeld, George was like, jerk store is what I should have said as the comeback, right? Jerk store. I don't want you to ever be in that situation. I want you to have the perfect comeback to be able to shut down that narcissist in less than 10 seconds. So I'm going to give you the exact words to shut down that narcissist without drama, without fear, without feeling like you're losing your dignity in the process. All right, so welcome back. And I want you to know I picked this topic because I've coached literally thousands of people just like you, or maybe it is you who's watching now. And people say to me all the time, Rebecca, I've tried the jade, I know I shouldn't justify, argue, defend, or explain, right? I always say never jade, but people just want, like, just tell me what to say. Just tell me what to say instead. And when I was practicing law, I can't tell you how many times I used to literally just help people write their emails or their texts because people are so worried about saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. So I wanted to give you something that you could pull out in the moment, use it with that toxic ex, with that toxic boss, that difficult in-law, that sort of thing, or even in front of the judge if need be. All right. Today, I'm giving my 10-second shutdown system. I'm going to give you the exact phrases as well as real life examples. So it'll be really helpful for you. So what I want you to know though, is what's actually happening in the moment is that they're trying to bait you. So the first thing before we even get to the exact phrases, I want you to understand the process of what's happening. They want that supply from you. They want that drama, trauma, and chaos. That's where they know they still have control over you, right? Let's name the game. When you're dealing with a narcissist, you're not in conversation, right? You're in this control loop, this chaos loop. And the goal for them is not clarity. It's not resolution. It's supply, your reaction, your energy, your compliance, all of that gives them supply. So they're going to push your buttons to try to make you feel shame, anger, resentment, urgency, confusion. And if you give them that emotion, now they have you. Now they go, yeah, got them back in. So if you give them neutrality though, and boundaries, then you win. So the fastest shutdown is starving that loop. They accuse, you try to explain, they escalate. They demand, you defend, they move the goalpost. They provoke, you react, they play the victim. What works instead is short, neutral, boundaried language that gives no fuel and no foothold. The 10-second shutdown system is 3 power moves and exact phrases, okay? So power move number 1 is the calm mirror. Why it works is because you're acknowledging what they say without agreeing, and it reflects without engaging and denies them the drama hit. Your go-to lines, which you're going to say very evenly, very calmly, without emotion. That's interesting. It's interesting that that's your thought on that. Oh, noted. That's another good phrase. Noted. Oh, okay. I agree that we don't see eye to eye. I agree that that's the way you see it. I agree that that's your perception. Okay. So those are go-to lines that you can say. So at a family dinner, let's say you get this jab from your mother-in-law or whatever, you're so sensitive. Can't you take a joke? That's interesting. I didn't realize that was a joke. Oh, that's interesting. Why would you think that's a joke? Very, very calmly, almost as if you're like just curious. You approach it with curiosity, not with anger. And then if they gaslight you, for example, like, oh, you agreed that this would be done today, or you agreed that I could speak to this person. That's not my recollection. And then you can always say, let's check the emails or let's check the text or whatever. But you always do this without the anger, without the I'm gonna prove it. It's just more like, let's dive into that. If they text smear you, like everybody knows that you're the problem. Everybody knows that, you're an alcoholic or whatever. Noted. Thank you for the feedback. And you can even say, if you want, I won't be engaging in this. I'm not engaging in this conversation. But just calm silence after you deliver whatever it is that you're going to say. Let them sit with it. You don't need to keep going, because if you keep going, now you're engaging. Now you're in it. Now you're defending. Now you're justifying all of those things. Power move number 2 is the boundaried redirect. So it works because time and decision rights are things that they're trying to take from you, but you are reclaiming these. Okay. So boundaries are sentences. They're not seminars. Quick sentence, not a seminar. Go-to lines are, I'm not available for that. I'll respond soon when I'm prepared, when I've had a moment to collect my thoughts. This approach is not working for me. This conversation is not working for me. Let's just stick to the written plan. Again, without emotion, calm. So if there's a co-parenting demand, for example, answer me right now. I'll respond when I've had a chance to prepare, when I've had a chance to digest. Now, here's the scope creep. Okay, that is going to happen sometimes, where they say, respond to me by the end of the day or something like that. That doesn't work for me. I will let you know. Guilt is another big thing. If you loved me, you would. If you cared about me, you would. Say, you know what? My feelings about you have nothing to do with this request. They are separate. Let's keep them separate. If you are dealing with this in a court situation, you can always say, let's communicate through counsel. Please direct legal matters to my attorney, things like that. Remember, if you are in a situation like that, to always use email or a court-approved app, something that has a time and date stamp that cannot easily be manipulated. Power move number 3 is the strategic silence and still face. So why this works is that silence is a pattern interrupt. Narcissists script your reaction. When you don't deliver, they lose footing. So what you want to do is make sure that you've squared your shoulders, standing up straight, neutral face, steady eye contact, gaze at a neutral point if need be. Count up to 8 seconds in your head, because studies have shown that 8 seconds actually shifts the power dynamic. Breathe through your nose, and if needed, follow through with a 1-line boundary. Okay, so if they raise their voice, answer me, SOS, I always say stop, observe, then speak. I'll continue this when we're both calm. If they triangulate, meaning they're trying to bring in that third person, even your sister agrees with me, even your mom agrees with me, even the therapist agrees with me, I'm not here to discuss what third parties think. Well, I'm not going to engage in that conversation. So you apply it anywhere that you can. If it's, even if you're dealing with the coffee person at Starbucks, it doesn't matter. But especially if you're in an inflammatory situation, a job, a co-parent, a spouse, a client who's difficult, right? When people are baiting you, you can always say, let's go back to the writing. Let's go back to the contract. What does that say? If somebody says, oh, this person says you're totally irresponsible. Okay, well, you know what? Let's keep conversations between us focused on the facts, focused on what we know is what's so. And when you are done having a conversation, simply exit from the conversation and move forward. Whether it's in person, whether it's in text, in writing, in email, you don't linger. Don't linger, because that's where difficulty comes in. You want to make sure that you're constantly keeping yourself above the fray, above the fray without the feeling of emotion to it. And the more boundaries you can have around it and the more brief you keep those conversations, the easier it's going to be for you not to get triggered and to stay in that place where you're basically like reporting the news. Oh, I see that you're upset. Oh, I see that this is how it is. Move on. We're going to stick to the facts. Neutral face. Soft jaw, still posture, slow exhale, slight head tilt to have calm authority, and breathing and looking at them without any sort of anger, resentment, that sort of thing. No rushed speech, no fidgeting. Okay. These work because you're leveraging your identity leverage, for one thing. You know who you are. You know you're the calm, confident decision maker, the person who responds, doesn't react. Your language reflects that identity. And then information leverage. You're controlling the record. Let's check the email. We'll follow the written schedule. Facts over feelings. That's how you dismantle the gaslighting. And then timing and influence leverage. You refuse urgency and slow the pace. I'll respond when I'm ready. Power expands when you reclaim time. When the narcissist can't extract your emotion, they lose it, okay? But that's the shutdown. That's where you're really shutting them down, okay? And if you're thinking, oh my God, Rebecca, I need more of these phrases, I made you a free guide, phrases for disarming narcissists. You can get that at disarm.com. Just go there. They work in any situation, and you can even keep them on your phone or whatever you need to so that you have them readily, handy for you and available. Grab those. Join my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators. I want to hear from you. What's the one line from today that you're going to start using today or this week? Share the line and also the scenario that you're dealing with. We read your comments. We want you guys to have a community here. So drop the line that you're going to use down below. Is it noted? Is it thanks for the feedback? What's the best line for you? Okay. And remember that shutting down a narcissist is not about going toe to toe with them. It's not about fighting harder. It's not about being louder. It's actually about being clearer, more concise, being composed. If this video helped you, I want you to go ahead and hit that like button and then hit the share button and make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss a strategy to build your leverage, to set your boundaries and actually get the results that you want, okay? If you've ever built anything from scratch, whether it's a business, a brand, or a podcast, you know there's nothing small about it. The decisions, the hustle, the grind, the pressure, it's so all-consuming. And that's why I was so grateful to find Shopify when I set up my own store, shop.rebeccazung.com. Shopify powers millions of businesses worldwide and handles 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from giants like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just starting out. It simplifies everything: inventory, payments, analytics, marketing, all in one place, and their built-in tools make it so easy to run email and social campaigns that keep customers coming back. If you're selling globally, Shopify can help you do that too at over 150 countries. If you're selling in person, their award-winning point of sale brings your online and retail worlds together. And with 99.9% uptime and the best converting checkout on the planet, you'll never miss a sale. Get all the big stuff for your small business right with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial and start selling at shopify.com/negotiate. That's shopify.com/negotiate. For the next video that I want you to watch phrases that disarm narcissists. Go ahead and watch that video next. And remember that no matter where you are, if that's your jumping off point, you can get exactly what you want. It's never too late. So I will see you in that next video, and thanks for dropping by. Remember, today's a great day to start negotiating your best life.